There is a secret you're not supposed to know. Not written in forbidden books, not hidden in temples. It's closer than that. It's the one thing our entire civilization is designed to keep you from seeing. The belief that holds everything together. And the moment you see through it, you can't unsee it. The game continues. The bills still come. Traffic still crawls. But something fundamental shifts, like waking from a dream while still inside it. Right now, you probably feel like someone trapped inside a body, looking out at a world that doesn't know you're here. A stranger piloting meat and bone through an indifferent universe. This feeling, this bone-deep loneliness, isn't accidental. Today, we invite ourselves to settle into a quiet space and recognize what has been hiding in a plain sight. This contemplation, drawn from the recorded teachings and lectures of philosopher Alan Watts, offers a doorway to understanding why the deepest taboo in our culture isn't about violence, sex, or even death. It's about remembering who you actually are. Alan Watts spent decades pointing at something our age finds particularly disturbing. We live in an era where science shares everything openly: nuclear physics, genetic engineering, artificial intelligence, all documented, accessible, impossible to suppress. And yet, one secret remains absolutely forbidden: the claim that the separation between you and the universe is a fiction, that you didn't arrive here from somewhere else, that you aren't in the universe the way a prisoner is in a cell, that you are the universe, performing an elaborate trick of forgetting what it is. We're taught to be what Watts called alienated spooks, ghosts driving meat machines, confronting an external world of dead matter that has nothing to do with who we really are. Children absorb this early. They look at their parents and say, "I didn't ask to be born," as if they were pure consciousness, trapped by biological accident. But here's what cannot be admitted: the inside and the outside don't just interact. They are one single event, expressing itself as two. Watch your hand right now. Close it into a fist, then open it. The closing and the opening aren't two separate actions fighting each other. They're one movement, breathing in and out. You can't have contraction without expansion. This is how existence works at every level. What you call yourself only exists because of everything you call not yourself. Self and other, inside and outside. They aren't opposing forces where one might win. They're inseparable partners, like two sides of a coin spinning in the air, never showing just one face. You wouldn't know what self means unless you knew what was meant by other. You wouldn't know what here is unless you knew what there is. Watts saw through the ancient game. We've been taught to fear that darkness might swallow light, that non-existence might cancel existence. But it's like fearing that silence will permanently destroy sound. Silence doesn't destroy sound. Silence is what allows sound to exist. Without silence, there is no music, only noise. Look at the space between your fingers. Right now, we call it empty, but that space isn't nothing. It's what allows your fingers to exist as separate things. Without space, there are no objects. Without objects, there is no space to measure. They create each other, moment by moment. This is so obvious it becomes invisible, like trying to see the color of your own eye lens. And this invisibility creates anxiety. The root of all anxiety is the fear that one pole of existence might destroy its opposite forever, that you, this fragile, separate self, will be swallowed by the vastness you're facing. But you can't be swallowed by what you are. The Hindu tradition has always known this. Tattvam asi. You are that. The ultimate reality isn't somewhere else, on some distant throne. It's here, now, pretending very convincingly that it's just you, just this limited person with problems and fears. Watts explained that when you go to a guru in India seeking answers to your suffering, the teacher looks at you with a certain gleam in the eye, not reading your mind, not judging your secrets, seeing through your entire performance. The guru sees in you the Godhead itself, just claiming it's poor little me, and he's going to try to kid you back into realizing who you really are. Sri Ramana Maharshi mastered this art. When people asked about past lives or future incarnations, he'd look at them and ask, "Who's asking?" Not to deflect, to point directly at the questioner. Who is this you that feels separate? Where does it start? Where does it end? Look for the boundary between inside and outside. You breathe air, and it becomes you. You eat food, and it becomes your thoughts. Light enters your eyes and becomes your entire visual world. Where is the line? The truth is, there never was a line. There's only one continuous event, appearing as subject and object, self and world. Right now, your body is exchanging molecules with the air at billions per second. The atoms that make up you were once inside stars. The iron in your blood was forged in a supernova. You are not in the universe. You are a temporary pattern the universe is forming, like a whirlpool in a river. The whirlpool looks separate, but it's just the river doing what rivers do. You are a verb disguised as a noun, a happening pretending to be a thing. Now here's where it gets interesting, and why this secret has always been carefully guarded. Because once you see this, once the game becomes visible, people who've seen through the game can't always be trusted to keep playing by the rules. Watts spoke about two kinds of awakened beings in Buddhism: the Pratyeka Buddha, the private Buddha who sees the truth and disappears into permanent bliss, and the Bodhisattva, the one who comes back. The Bodhisattva sees through the game completely, but instead of disappearing, returns to the marketplace, gets a job, pays rent, raises children, does the dishes, but brings something back from the journey, brings skill, brings presence, because that's the rule of theater. If you're in a play, you don't come on stage as yourself. You play your part. This is where discipline enters, not as punishment, but as skill. I would prefer to use the word skill. Discipline is a way of expression. If you want to carve beauty from stone, you learn the sculptor's skill. If you want to translate the vision of unity into daily life, you learn the skill of presence. Without skill, insight becomes isolation. Without skill, the vision remains locked inside, unable to touch the world. This is the difference between a private Buddha and a Bodhisattva. Both see the truth, but only one develops the art to make it useful. Pause. Let's make this experiential. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. Feel the weight of your body, not thinking about it, just feeling. Notice how you can't feel inside without simultaneously feeling outside. The pressure of the chair, the temperature of air on skin. These aren't two separate experiences. There's only one seamless field of sensation. Now notice sound. Whatever's present, Where is the sound happening? In the world or in the hearing? There's no sound out there traveling in here. There's only hearing occurring, with no gap between hearer and heard. Now the breath. You can control it, but if you forget about it, it continues perfectly without you. Is breathing something you do to the air, or something the air does to you? It's neither. It's the body world breathing itself. Open your eyes slowly. Everything you see isn't separate from the seeing. Subject and object arise together. This is always happening, every moment, every breath. You're not a witness watching life happen. Your life becoming conscious of itself right here in this exact form. Now, the integration, the real work. When you're scrolling through your phone at 2 a.m., watching highlight reels of other people's lives, feeling that familiar ache of not enoughness, can you see it? The one scrolling and the images scrolling past are one process. The sense of lack and the search for fulfillment create each other. The algorithm knows you're lonely before you do. It feels your loneliness through every click, every pause, because the algorithm isn't separate from you. It's you, extended into silicon. When the notification lights up your screen, when you reach for the device without thinking, that's not a separate you being manipulated. That's one seamless event, hand, screen, brain wanting, happening together. When someone criticizes you, when that tightness appears in your chest, pause. The critic and the criticized are two poles of one situation. Without the possibility of criticism, there's no criticized self. The attack creates the defender. You can still respond. You can still set boundaries. But without believing you're a separate, solid thing that can be fundamentally damaged by words. When anxiety appears, that specific flavor of dread about not being enough, can you recognize it as life playing the game of forgetting what it is? Anxiety isn't a mistake. It's what separation feels like from the inside. What you do is what the universe does, and what the universe does is also what you do. Not you in the sense of your superficial ego, but you in the sense of your total psychophysical organism, conscious as well as unconscious. This doesn't make difficulties disappear, but the relationship transforms. Instead of you versus problems, there's just life doing its thing, which includes the experience of problems and solving them. Watts had profound respect for what he called the squares, people who seem completely asleep, grinding away at ordinary jobs, taking the world deadly seriously. But his respect wasn't condescending. It was genuine reverence. An enlightened Hindu or Buddhist looks at ignorant people and says, "My respects, because here I see the divine essence having altogether forgotten what it is, and playing the most far-out game of being completely lost. Congratulations. How far out can you go?" The person who has completely forgotten their God is doing something infinitely more impressive than the person who remembers. They're walking a tightrope, thousands of feet up, playing the game with total commitment. Don't disturb them. Don't shout, "Wake up," while they're mid-step. And maybe, when you see this, when you recognize that everyone is playing their necessary role, something dissolves that's deeper than the first insight. There's no enlightened you separate from unenlightened them. There's only consciousness playing all the parts simultaneously. The game continues, but now you know it's a game, not by making you stop caring, by making you care more freely, without the desperate grip of thinking everything depends on you. So what now? Live skillfully. That's what now. Whatever your craft is, bring mastery to it, because mastery is how you translate vision into form. It's how you take what you've seen in clarity and make it useful in confusion. It's how you become a bodhisattva, someone who not only sees the truth, but can serve with it, and in your relationships, in your work, in the ordinary Tuesday afternoon. Remember that you're not doing any of this alone. The universe is doing you, and you are the universe doing itself. The inside and outside were never two things trying to connect. They are one thing, pretending to be two. So connection becomes an event. You are not in the universe looking for your place. You are the universe looking at itself through these particular eyes, wondering what it is. And that's not a belief to adopt. It's a recognition available right now in the breath, in the sound of these words. You never left home. The search was always the finder, searching for itself. And now the game continues, but maybe with a little more grace, a little more humor, a little less fear. Sit with this. Don't rush to make it make sense. Let it be something felt, something recognized beneath the words. And perhaps, in the space between thoughts, you'll notice what's always been here. What you are, what everything is. Just this. Exactly this. Thank you for sitting in this contemplation. If something here resonated, stay with us on this journey, not to learn more, but to remember deeper. For now, simply be. You are that. You always were.